Hello. So today we are going to go for our second video. And last time, if you don't remember, Maria is here. We had a conversation about meditation with Maria in our last video. And then today we are going to talk about the topic chosen by Maria. She's going to discuss is about love. And so I think rather than me discussing what we are going to, I will hand over to Maria, and Maria is going to introduce, and she will have some question about love and how Buddhism have some answers about this topic. So she is going to introduce the topic, and then we will go ahead with that. So thank you, Maria, again for your time, and also to select this topic, especially for general, for which can help many people who our listeners. So thank you again, and welcome to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me again. And yeah, I thought this would be a nice topic because it's definitely something that is in everybody's head, at least at some point. Because again, I think exactly because of that, it can be misunderstood because there's different points of view from many different sources. And I thought maybe Buddhism would be a good source to kind of look into. Because like, for example, love is not a synonym of pleasure, and it's also not a synonym of happiness. And I think that is one of the hardest concepts that everyone misunderstands. So also, love is an extremely broad term, right? So what is love in Buddhism?
Okay, so that is very straightforward question. And I think when we say love, I think there is two types of love we can say. So one type of love is possessive love. So that is the love kind of like brotherly love, motherly or friendly. So anything, it could be our animals, our pet, or anyone is dear or close to us. So we can show that kind of affection and dearness to somebody. So this is the one kind of love, and this is possessive love. But actually that is not the true love actually. So when we say about the true love is more about loving kindness or metta, and that is the actually original love. And so love without condition. And this is what, so little bit elaborate this when I say the way mother love their babies, their children. So in one occasion, Buddha said in Pali, Mata yathamiyang putang ayusa ek puttamanurakhe evam pisaba bhuteshu manasang bhave aparimanang. So that is again the Pali word, and I just thought it might make sense. This is the word directly from Buddha. And what Buddha said actually, the way mother loves her only child, she could even die to save her child. That way we have to love for all living beings. And when we say living beings, so it includes actually all living beings, human, animals, insects, or all living beings, including beings in the lab. So that is what when scientists, they work, definitely that included. I know it won't be very nice for our scientist listeners, and especially for you as well, but still. So yeah, so that is the kind of love when we talk about. The other thing is when we say unconditional love, because mother, she protect their babies in any cost, and they don't want in return something, especially mother. Her love is unconditional, and that is what we have to understand the love. The other thing is very important thing when we say love, then the true love, this love should have compassion and also wisdom. So being attached and love somebody blindly, I think the best way is to develop this wisdom and understanding, and also to be ready to let it go. And that way, the only we can really love somebody truly without any attachment, but full of compassion and full of kindness.
Right, because that's kind of where it gets messed up. So like now, if we restrict our talk to the romantic type of love.
Okay.
that part of it being unconditional is the one, it's like the part of the concept that gets messed up, because I guess it's lacking that wisdom part. And then, for instance, you have partners where one is unconditionally giving everything of themselves to the other one, and the other one just doesn't really appreciate. And so there's a clear imbalance. But I guess it's because the wisdom part is also missing for the person to realize that this unconditionality is not okay.
Yeah, I think when we really see about our partners, sometimes people they like because somebody is very handsome or somebody is very beautiful. So what if somebody is not pretty anymore, especially on wedding day, for example, somebody looks completely different, very pretty, like as a woman or as a man, very handsome. But what after wedding and they go in their normal dress in the home, they might be looking differently. So what is really love is not only looking the like outside beauty, but we have to see the inner beauty as well about the person. And also, we should love somebody because of their personality, what they are actually, what they really are actually, rather than only passion or craving for somebody's beauty or somebody's maybe just we are there because they have lots of money or they have lots of this and that. But we have to really love somebody unconditionally, but at the same time with full of compassion, and that is what uh, real love is. But the romantic love is going to bring some kind of uh, if there is a mutual understanding, if especially husband and wife or partners, they are really loving each other and they are understanding each other, then their life is going to be a kind of heaven. But if they don't understand each other, then there is a real hell in the same house. So we have to understand actually how to make our life like a heaven, and then only this romantic love will work, because romantic love won't have always happiness, but because of the nature of up and down worldly conditions, that life even have some challenges. So we have to be there in both situation and accept any kind of situation in our life, and that's how that relationship might work. But if we are only expecting too much like happiness, romance, or everything positive, it is not going to happen because of the fluctuating nature of this world.
Right. Love is not all, is not happiness. It's like
Uh,
the
definitely,
combination, right? It's up and up and up and down.
definitely not, because this is what the worldly condition Buddha said. When especially about people, I mean, who have experience in having in relationship, or when they get married and they think, oh, this is going to be romantic all the time, but it is not really, because there will be lots of things will hit you. For example, when boys and girls they have very in relationship, especially in the beginning, they show only positive side, and they have some other side as well, which they don't know. But once they're married, they are there and they start to know each other, and sometimes they don't bother about something. So there is lots of issues happens, and that is why we have to develop love somebody really with out of compassion, out of kindness, and we should love someone not only because somebody looking good or somebody is this and that, but because that person we should love, and that will work actually. So we are there for any ups and downs, and we are still there. That is the true love for in a romantic, I mean, relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. And then another thing that I think is important is accepting that part of the unknown, kind of, that you cannot know if the person that you're with is the one, and that in fact there's never a one, that the only one there is yourself, and that the other person is a choice, right? And
Uh,
I think people
yeah.
have a conflict with that. So how can you deal with this sort of commitment issues with a from the Buddhism point of view?
So I think one thing we have to understand that everybody loves themselves more than anyone else. So we have to learn
Not,
actually to love
everyone
ourselves
does,
first.
right? But not everyone does that, and I think
No,
that's one thing.
yes. So there is I will say you two stories actually. I mean, two example in Buddha's time, especially about when we commit to someone, or when we start to love somebody, Buddha said, "Pemato jayato soke." It means love brings unhappiness feeling,
Okay.
or piyato jayato soko, or when we have closed one somebody, when we have dear one somebody, when we met somebody dear or close, that also bring unhappiness. So what happens once Buddha time, there was a lady, her name was Visakha. She had a granddaughter, she passed away, and she was very unhappy. She opened her hair, and wet hair with wet body. She went to a monastery, and Buddha said, "What happened, Visakha? Why you are crying? What happened to you? Why you are looking very distressed?" She said, "Because my granddaughter, she died. She was only 5 years old, and I'm very unhappy today." And Buddha said, why you are happy?" She said, "Because I loved her." So Buddha said that time, "Do you still want more grandchildren?" And she said, "Yes, I would love to have more grandchildren." And Buddha said, "Okay, what will happen in this town? There is around 70 million people. If every day one of them or few, 5, 10 people die, do you want to cry every day like this?" She said, "No, I don't want to." So this is what Buddha said: because you love somebody, and when something happens, it brings unhappiness. And
Well,
not
then you
only
just
that,
pray that nothing happens.
so not only that, because of love, we are fear. It brings fear, it brings unhappiness and fear as well. So if somebody have no like closed one or loved one, there is no fear, there is no worry, there is no unhappiness. But again, we have to understand Buddha was not against the married life. He always promoted like to people to help each other and understanding the other side of this relationship or marriage. And this is why Buddha said, be prepared for both sides and be there firmly and supporting each other. So, so this is how. And the other thing is very interesting story about Queen Malika and King Prasenjit from Savatthi. Uh, they were meditating one day, one night together, and then they started to feel something, and they talked to each other. Then uh, King said, "Queen Malika, I have."
What happened? Oh, yeah, I can't hear you. Yeah.
So
Yeah, now I can.
can you?
Yeah.
Okay. So so yeah. So he asked, uh, Malika, do you know what I felt today when I was meditating? I I just felt that I love myself more than anybody else. And then that's very pretty queen. She said, "Oh, he doesn't love me." Then she said, "Actually, do you know, I felt the same thing. I feel I love myself more than actually you or anybody else." And they were actually puzzled that do we really love ourselves more than anyone else? And then they went to Buddha actually, and they said what they felt actually. And Buddha said, "Actually, it is true. We love ourselves more than anything else. We don't want to change our face or change ourselves, whatever we are. We just love ourselves." But this is what the thing is. But at the same time, Buddha said, we have to learn to love ourselves. If we love truly ourselves, then only we can love to somebody else, or we can spread our love to anyone. So we have to love, and we have to learn how to love ourselves before saying, "Oh, okay, we love them." And very important thing that it was in my uh, second noble truth. For every problem in this world, the attachment is the big problem. So no matter whatever the situation is, when we develop this attachment towards someone, that will bring unhappiness. But if we know how to attach to somebody with especially with wisdom, and also give loving somebody with unconditional way, and if we maintain those things, wisdom and unconditional love, I think we will be fine even when we are with somebody in relationship. And there will be very, very, I mean, less chance to have any problems.
Mm. Yeah, because that part of being told you always have to love yourself first before anybody else loves you. You like you will hear that very often, right? It's like one of the first things you would read in any kind of relationship books or whatever.
There is
But
one proverb I will add before you go to your, that said, when you are happy, when you laugh, world will laugh with you, and when you cry alone.
ah,
So that is quite true, actually. So when we are okay, when we are fine, when we are happy, everybody is there for us. But when we have really difficult situation, we are alone.
oh, I like
Nobody
that.
wants to cry with us. People want to laugh with us, but nobody wants to cry with us.
Ah.
Unless somebody really there, like for example, parents or very, very close friends or something.
Unless it's a kind of unconditional love,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So that's got developing a little bit more on the thing that you first need to love yourself. That some people, I don't know, they have like neediness or that they need validation all the time because they can't have it by themselves, and that's why they seek for it with somebody else, and that's then when problems will come up. So a little bit going back to the thing that the person that you're with is a choice, and some people get a little bit blinded by there being too many choices, and okay, finally once they decide to commit to this one person, but then what if the choice was wrong? Say that you found out that the person is not a good partner for you, or that you are not a good partner for the person. That part of knowing how to detach, how do you train that, or how do you know how to detach?
I think first thing I would say, if you will commit to somebody, I mean, we have to repair and we make sure that everything is works together for the best for both of them. But if something is not working really and somebody wants to come out, uh, this is why you have to love somebody. But also, when we love somebody truly, we have to learn also how to let it go. So when we say about the wisdom and unconditional love, uh, we are not, we don't want to hold someone, because we have to learn, okay, let it go. They should carry on their life, and also all our emotions, all our attachment. So this is why we have to be very, very wise when we loving somebody, and be prepared for always, because you see, no matter how much people they love each other, but they will be separated after 1 year, or maybe not it after 1 year, maybe after 10 years, if not after 20 years. So this is very, very true, that we, everyone, they will be separated in their lifetime, no matter how much they will show love and affection, because people they die, or sometimes something else will happen. The separation is always there. So by knowing that, we have to accept that whatever the situation is at the moment is not going to be there for permanent, because things will change and one day people will be separated. So utilize that time, enjoy the present moment, whatever we have in our life, and always be ready for that, letting it go, whatever the situation is. So by this way, I think if we are always prepared, I think that is the best way to get ready always about our life. Don't think too much about the future, but make use of all the present moment, whatever we have, enjoy it, be happy, be satisfied, because we know that it will pass, it will never come. And in the future, we are not going to know what is going to happen. And this is the time which we have to utilize for present moment. So
Right.
we have to learn, let it go all the time, actually, in any situation. And that will help us when even come to the separation.
Mm. Yeah, be aware of it all the time, right? And also be aware that things can change, but also be aware that things can end, but also be aware that things are always changing. Like you will also be changing, and maybe 10 years from now, you're not the same one when you met him or her, and he is not the same one you met 10 years from now. So maybe you're not compatible anymore, and things like that. So
Yes, yeah, and one thing also for, especially it's for family, like when they have children, mother, father, husband, wife. Sometimes also situations comes, people, they expecting too much from others, but they don't want to change themselves. And that is very difficult situation. They think if my father is going to be okay, then everything will be fine. Or if my husband or if my wife sees the problem, I am always okay. So maybe we have to change this attitude as well. And this is what sometimes we have to look ourselves as well, where we are standing and how much we are supporting, or how our nature is, rather than always thinking that because of the other person is the problem is always. Because it is true, many times we know that who is right and wrong, but at the same time we have to uh, I mean, we have to try to somebody. If somebody we can't change, definitely we can't change everyone, then we have to change, and we have power to change ourselves, to change our attitude, change our goal, and just move on with in with our life actually. So
Yeah. Yeah, because you cannot change the other person. But at least if you're aware that both are changing, then you can talk and make sure that you kind of change in the same direction so that you can still keep being compatible.
I think you have said very important point here. Never ever stop the channel of conversation. If you want somehow to make things okay, that is the secret of any kind of relationship, or any kind of activity when we're doing. Never stop the channel or the bridge of negotiation or conversation, because you never know, maybe sometime it can help them to bring them again back. uh, and the big problem for any relationship is mistrust or suspicion.
Mm.
This is the big main cause for any problems, especially in relationship. If people, they don't trust each other, or if they have any kind of doubts or suspicion in their relationship, that is going to be very difficult to bring them back. So in first place, maybe we should be open, especially in a relationship, so that suspicion or doubts doesn't come between. If that will come, that it will start to create the problem.
Mm. Yeah, there's a lot of drama surrounding the topic of romantic love. Yeah, I think a lot of it comes from the ego, and
Yeah,
also, yeah, from not recognizing that the other person is a totally independent person, like yourself, or at least like you should be.
yeah,
um, so I guess we can summarize what we've been discussing and saying that
yeah.
maybe then the good qualities of a healthy relationship, from what you've been saying, is um, wisdom, compassion, understanding, and good conversation. Because I think actually the understanding comes from having conversations. So
Yeah, exactly. And I will add in the end, because when we practice about generosity, forgiveness is also kind of quality. Like when partners, one of them, they're making any mistakes in the beginning, if they learn to forgive each other, if it will be okay, and that will also help them. So learning forgiveness, that is a part of like generosity. So being generous or forgive somebody for somebody's mistakes and then moves on in their life, I think that will be very helpful to maintain their relationship.
yeah, that generosity part is actually a very important part for myself, like what I see in another person.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
so, so yeah, I think uh, the point you have noted, and these are very important, especially to maintain the healthy relationship. And I think especially this topic is very broad, because there is a lots of things we can talk. For example, how to have a successful married life, especially, and if there is any problems, how to deal with the problems. So in the future, we can cover some particular area if.
I'm not there yet. I'm still about the initial stages.
Okay, so we will move according to the situation.
Well,
so
it's a nice situation.
so okay, so I assume that at the moment everything is the nicer side, the good side, the better side. And I wish things will be like in the simpler form, the way we are discussing in the future, so we don't have to move to the other area.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that those were all the questions that I had, and it was a nice talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria, again. And I think everyone, whoever listening this talk, might have some useful information for their own life, and they can utilize this conversation. And also, we will be coming with some other topics soon. So thank you, Maria, again for your time. And I hope people will enjoy and make use of this conversation in their own personal life. So thank you again for
Thank
coming
you.
and joining this. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.